Hi, my name is Sunny Mabry. You might know me from Species 3, Snakes on a Plane. I have a new movie coming out called Beyond the Trek, and you are watching Tony Has Nine Fingers.
What is going on, people? It's here, day number 31 of the 31 Days Half October series that I'm doing here on this channel. For those of you who have not checked out all my other reviews, go ahead and do so right after this. You'll find 30 movies you might not have known beforehand. Also, remember to check the description for everything I talk about. There's a whole bunch of other people doing somewhat what this is. You know, they're calling it 31 Days of Horror, 31 Days of Halloween. I'm calling it 31 Days Half October. I was doing, still am doing more independent titles. I was doing alphabetical order, but then I ran out of letters. But today being the last day, the last hurrah, what I'm going to do, instead of reviewing one, I'm going to review five. And I'm going to review 5 Scream Factory titles that pretty much within the past maybe year and a half to 2 years, maybe a little longer, have come out. And these, again, are more of the independent, the lesser known movies. Some people might know them, some people might not. I have 5 here, so I'm going to talk briefly about each one. I'm not going to go crazy into depth because I don't feel like having a 20-minute video. Probably most of you won't want to see it anyway. But I will read off, directors and all this stuff and actors and actresses. And like I said, I'll give a quick little synopsis of each. These are my, top recent movies that came out for Scream Factory. There are a whole bunch of others, which I will be doing more reviews down the road. I actually bought some more for that 53% off or half off, whatever they were doing this past weekend. So anyway, let me get into it. The first movie I'm doing, it came out, I believe, earlier this year, if I remember right. Could have been late last year. No, I think it's earlier this year. And it's directed by André Øvredal. It's written by Ian B. Goldberg and Richard Naing. Hopefully I said that right. It stars Brian Cox, Emile Hirsch, and Ophelia Lovibond. And the movie is The Autopsy of Jane Doe. So pretty much what this one is Emile Hirsch and Brian Cox. They're both coroners, or what do you want to call it? I guess you would call them coroners. The people that work in a, I can't even think of the word now, funeral home. And, get all the bodies ready and prepared and whatever. I don't know what they do, if they, remove organs or whatever it is. That's what they do. And one night they end up getting a Jane Doe. And, they're pretty much going along their normal route and routine and whatever. But this one is a little bit different and strange things are happening. And again, I'm not going to go too much into depth with each, but this one, if you haven't seen it, it's creepy and it has pretty cool scenes in it. And like I said, if you're scared of funeral homes, this one will make you even more scared. The second movie I decided to go with is a different take on a zombie film, and that movie is called The Battery. The Battery is written, directed, and starring Jeremy Gardner. It also stars Adam Cronheim, I got it all written down here, and Niels Bolle. Probably horribly butchered that name. This one, like I said, is a different take on a zombie film. Each film has its own take. This one kind of takes it in a different direction. It has that Walking Dead kind of vibe, but not. It's got pretty much 2 guys alone in a car trying to, survive and all this stuff. They do encounter different people, but it just has this different vibe to it. If you haven't seen it, then it's going to be hard to tell you without spoiling everything and telling you what goes down. But pretty much it's, survival in a car and limited supplies and, them trying to survive with this, downfall, I guess you want to call it. But that's The Battery. The next one is a killer fish movie, and the movie is called Beneath. This is directed by Larry Fessenden. It's written by Tony Daniels and Brian D. Smith. It stars Daniel Zavato, Bonnie Dennison, and Chris Conroy. I can't even read my own handwriting. That's pretty bad. But anyway, Beneath is pretty much a group of college kids. They end up, it's either high school or college, I forget what it is, but they end up going to this place to go camping. They one of their friends that they bring along, his family or whatever owns this land, and he brings them on it. And he's like, okay, well, one day we'll just go out on the lake. It's a beautiful lake, all this stuff. So they end up going, a whole bunch of them, on this really big boat. And all of a sudden, they're attacked by this gigantic, I'm guessing you would call it like a catfish-like fish. And it's pretty much a man-eating fish. So now all these teenagers are now stuck on this boat. And they're trying to figure out how to get back to shore to, safety. And it's pretty much the limited supplies that they have again, and the weight distribution I'll give a little hint to, and all this stuff. But this one's really cool. Again, it's got that party vibe in the beginning, and then it turns into a fight for survival against a gigantic ugly fish. As I drop this, the beauty of live, I was about to say television, but it's not television. The next one came out earlier this year. It's directed by Jackson Stewart. It's written by Jackson Stewart and Stefan Scarlatta. It stars Graham Skipper, Chase Williamson, Bree Carant. Hopefully I said that right or written it down. And Barbara Crampton as well. And that movie is called Beyond the Gates. So pretty much what this one is, it had in parts of it kind of had that Jumanji feel for me, but pretty much two brothers, they end up finding this old VHS type board game that at one point their father played and then disappeared. And when they find this game, they realize that there might be a little bit more to this than just, a fun, I guess you would call it, board game or whatever. And they figure out that strange things are happening, and they start putting the pieces, I guess, together to what happened to their father. So that's Beyond the Gates. And the last one came out, I believe, a few months ago, and then it was released again. I was waiting for it, and it was released again, I think like 2 months ago or whatever. And that movie is called The Devil's Candy. This one is written and directed by Sean Burns. It stars Ethan Embry, Sherry Appleby, Pruitt Taylor Vince, who I definitely like in every single movie this guy's in. He's got that, that look to him that he seems innocent, but then most of the characters he plays ends up turning into like a psycho. But anyway, The Devil's Candy is pretty much a family. They end up moving into a small little apartment, or is it a house or an apartment? I believe it's an apartment. And it's a house. They moved into their dream house. And pretty much what happens is all of a sudden the father, Jesse, he's pretty much, down on his luck. He's a, artist and all this, trying to, make his way and trying to sell his stuff. And, it's not going too well. All of a sudden he starts dreaming, and these dreams really get crazy. And then he pretty much gets possessed by whatever this presence is in his house. You come to realize that the person who lived in this house beforehand kind of had the same exact thing, and now that guy is ending up doing the devil's work and everything. So pretty much this is like a haunted house possession type movie. Again, I don't want to go too deep into each of these because one, maybe the slim reviews might want to push you towards it, but also some of these, if I break it down a little too much, I'll be giving the entire movie away. But if you're into haunted houses, if you're into like possession, you're into weird dreams and all this stuff, this is a very visual too. It has a whole bunch of different good on the eyes, I guess you want to call it, if you want to say that. But anyway, that's Devil's Candy. So 5 movies. Again, I don't want to go too crazy into anything, but again, Autopsy of Jane Doe, if you're into funeral homes, creepy funeral homes, this will be for you. If you're into a different take on a zombie film, The Battery. If you're into killer fish, Beneath. If you're into killer video games or board games or VHS board games or anything, Beyond the Gates. And if you're into just overall possession and haunted houses and like visuals, The Devil's Candy. So that is 5 Scream Factory titles. I have them all upside down. 5 Scream Factory titles that some of you might not have seen, or if you haven't seen them and you or know about them and you haven't seen them, maybe this will push you towards it. So again, it's over. Day 31. No more daily reviews. I'm going to try to, review a whole bunch more, but maybe take a few days off because doing a review a day is kind of tiring. But it was fun for what it was. Hopefully, again, if you haven't seen all my reviews, check them out because you might see certain movies that you've never heard of or were iffy about, and I kind of pushed you in the direction. Also, check out everybody else who's doing, check everybody who did do a 31 Days of Halloween, 31 Days of Horror, whatever you want to call it. Check that out. I'll leave all the links to all of these. I'm going to get the trailers and where you can purchase each one of these. And also, I'll leave the links to all my other social media. I got a Facebook fan page. I got a Twitter. I got an Instagram where I show off the movies behind me. I got a Horrormino, Snapchat, Stardust app, and I'm part of the Dorkening, which we should have a live show tonight, the Wicked Horror Show. That's what we do on Tuesday nights. And if you don't know what we are, we do interviews with indie horror actors, directors, writers, actresses, you name it, we do it on Tuesdays. Thursday night is our video game show, and then Sunday night is our normal dork show where we just talk dork stuff, comic books, movies, anything that's in the news, pretty much dork we talk. And also, if you haven't already, if you made it through this entire video, thank you very much. If you watched all my other reviews, thank you. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell button so you know when I do upload all my other reviews, as well as top 5s, top 10s, unboxings, stuff like that. I'm going to get into more now that I have, more time to think. And so I almost stumbled over my words. Have a happy Halloween. It went by too quick, but I guess I'm kind of glad it's over because doing a review every day was tiring. But again, check out everything. Check the show notes for everything I talk about. And until the next time, I'll see you. If you found the review you just watched enlightening and you want more of them, go ahead, hit that subscribe button in the corner, and check out all the other reviews I have, such as Horror Pack reviews and Netflix and Chiller. If you want to check out all the other things I have, go ahead and check out my Instagram where I show off the movies I have behind me. Or check out my Twitter where I post all my videos and more. If you want to do that, go ahead, hit those buttons, and until next time, I'll see you.